Hi everyone, welcome to Carmen's Australian Storytime. Today we are reading Healthy Harold's Library Liftoff, written by Louise Parrott and illustrated by Anne-Marie Finn. Now lots of my students know Healthy Harold because he comes to visit every year and give us healthy tips about what we should do and how we should live. But this one is about him going to the library. Let's see what the blurb has to say. Harold discovers how the library is his ticket to anywhere. Where will he go? What will he see? Find out what he's been up to thanks to visits to the school library. Harold's fun stories are designed to share with preschoolers or for early readers. They subtly reinforce the safer, healthier life choices that he and life education are famous for. The blurb. What is a library? Well, it is a wonderful place filled with books, and instead of buying them, you get to borrow them, read them, and take them back and borrow more. For many people, it is a home away from home where you can sit and enjoy reading books that take you to a million different places. It seems to be one of Healthy Harold's favourite places too. Let's find out what books he is going to read. Some kids say they don't like Mondays, but Harold's class knows they're fun days. That's their day for the library. There's lots of books, just look and see. Monday is Harold's library day at school. When is your library day? Making connections. When I was little, the library was one of my favourite places, and I loved taking my library bag and choosing a book each week. I still love going to the library, only this time I get to read the books to the children. Which books do you like at the library? The school librarian helps Harold find the kind of book he has in mind. She sometimes reads the class a story. The time flies by. He's always sorry. The library is one of my favourite places at school. The librarian is the person who runs the library. They make sure books get put away properly so they can tell you exactly where to find the book you want. They also get to read fabulous stories to you that take you far away to magical places. It's time to go. Until next week, the library story will have to keep. He loves to read. It's so much fun because reading is for everyone. When you go to the library, what type of books do you like looking for? I love action, adventure, fantasy, information. Oh, can't decide on one. I like them all. Can you draw a character from your favourite book? He loves to borrow books with jokes, then try them out on lots of folks. Why did the giraffe get bad grades? Because he had his head in the clouds. Oh, Harold, that's a very bad joke. Sometimes jokes, I don't know, they're just not very funny, are they? Let's see if this one's any better. Do you like to tell jokes? I love them. Here's one for you. It's called The Librarian, the Chicken, and the Frog. A chicken walks into the library, marches to the desk and says, "Book, book, book." The librarian hands over a couple of novels and watches the chicken as it leaves the library, walks across the street, through a field and disappears down the hill. Next day, the chicken is back, walks right up to the librarian, drops the books on her desk and says, "Book, book, 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 book." The librarian hands over a few books and again watches the chicken drag them away. The next day, the chicken comes for a third time, drops the books on the desk and says, "Book, book, 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 book." This time, once the chicken is out the door, the librarian follows, across the street, through a field, and down the hill to a small pond. On a rock on the edge of the pond is the biggest frog the librarian has ever seen. The chicken walks up to the frog, drops the book on the pond's edge and says, "Book, book, book." The frog hops over, uses the front leg to push through the pile and says, "Read it, read it, read it." That joke makes me laugh every time. A book on gardening helps him know just how those beans and carrots grow. Do you like to grow things? Growing your own fruits and vegetables is very rewarding and good exercise. This is the garden my Year 1 class built at school. They had a great time painting their pots and planting their herbs. It was such a great garden, the Smurfs decided to live in it. A few weeks back, he got a book of recipes that he could cook. His favourite one was carrot cake. It seemed to take so long to bake. He called his friends to come and share the yummy treat he'd made with care. Do you like to cook? Cooking is so much fun, and like Harold, it is so much fun when you get to share your treats with your friends. What do you like to cook? That carrot cake really does look delicious. I think I'm getting a little bit hungry. There's such great books on outer space. Oh wow, it's such a huge, huge place. He learned of planets, comets, stars, then dreamed about a trip to Mars. Outer space is just so much fun to learn about. We are always learning more about the planets. We teach about 9 of the planets at school: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I was taught a jingle to remember them. My very easy memory jingle seems useful naming planets. Do you know a different one? In class they made a rocket ship, then planned to take it on a trip off to space with his friend Red, a cardboard helmet on his head. Box construction, one of my favorite things. There are just so many wonderful things you can make out of boxes. I really like the rockets they have made. Do you think you could make a rocket and a space helmet out of boxes? A book can take you anywhere, from land to sea, from space to air. Thanks to your imagination, choose another destination. If you could choose a book, which one would you choose and where would it take you? Somewhere in the air? Somewhere on land? Somewhere on the sea? Or somewhere in space? Dr. Seuss says, the more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. From mountains high to oceans deep, there's nothing that you cannot leap. You can really let your imagination take you anywhere. Have you ever climbed a tall mountain? Have you ever dived down deep into the ocean and seen the beautiful marine life down there? A book can show you all about things you may never get to see or do. Visit countries far away. Learn about the games they play. Have you ever thought about different places and the sports they play there? If you lived in the snow, you would do skiing and ice hockey. If you live near the beach, you do a lot more water sports like surfing and swimming. In Australia, we can try just about any sport because we get 4 seasons in a year. Do you know what seasons are? They're the changes in the weather. We have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Without a visit to the zoo, discover other creatures too. Do you know what an atlas is? An atlas is a collection of things. It is usually maps, but Harold is reading an animal atlas that tells you all about animals, but also where you will find that animal in the world. Here on the Sunshine Coast, we are really lucky we live near Australia Zoo. But if you didn't live near a zoo, these books are a great way to find out about animals. Pterodactyl, a flying reptile and also a carnivore, which means he eats meat, probably fed on fish and small animals. Even things like dinosaurs, though we can't see them anymore. This dinosaur has such a funny name, and I can never figure out why it had a P at the front of the word when it is silent. I don't think that I would like to meet a pterodactyl. Look at those claws. Stegosaurus, a plant-eating dinosaur with plates on its back for showing off to other dinosaurs. Diplodocus or Diplodocus, a long-tailed, long-necked plant-eating dinosaur from the Jurassic period. Oh, and of course, Harold has to have a book about dinosaurs. Most children I know love them and learning all about the different kinds. What is your favourite dinosaur? I have always liked the Diplodocus because I like saying the word and I like that they eat plants and not me. He sometimes gets one off his shelf and reads a story to himself. And when he gets to read aloud, it makes him feel very proud. How far his reading skill has come from way back when he'd just begun. One of the best things about being a teacher is that I get to see all my amazing students learn how to read. We start the year learning our letters of the alphabet, and then all of a sudden we start putting those letters together, and then they start reading. Reading opens up a whole new world and gives you an independence to do things for yourself. From picture books with a word or two, he's now on chapter books. It's true! At the end of year 1, most students begin to read chapter books that take them on wonderful adventures. Harold is becoming a confident reader, and he absolutely loves to read. The more you read, the more you know. Dr. Zeus again. Harold likes to read in bed. It slows him down and clears his head. Then off to dreams and restful sleep, thanks to a great book that you keep. Reading before bed is a wonderful idea. It really does help you wind down from a busy day, and it helps you switch off and relax. iPads, phones, and computers are all electronic, and they actually stimulate your brain, so it then finds it hard to switch off and sleep. Maybe you could try reading a book or having mum, dad, or your carer read to you. But only for a week or two. Then you borrow one that's new. Where will he go? What will he see when they lift off next at the library? I don't know about you, but Harold has me all excited to read another book. I love reading just as much as he does. It looks like his next books might be about superheroes or scientists. What do you think you want to borrow from the library next? Please let me know if there is something you would like me to read next. See you again soon.